Good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? I'm trying to get my screen to split in half so I have my notes on one side. Happy Monday morning. Grab your friends, tell them to hop on. We are going to do week 2 chapters. Well, I keep getting confused. I think it's chapters 4 through 6, but then there's skill 1, 2, and 3 that we're going to cover today. So I keep going back to my audio version going, wait, I'm on the wrong chapter because I keep looking at chapter 3 for skill 1. So I made a lot of notes, a lot of stuff I want to go over. And one thing I want to tell you guys is if you don't have this book yet, or you haven't downloaded the audio, I don't think that you're taking your business seriously. I'm going to go out on a little limb here and be a little hard on you this morning because I want everybody to build their business like a business. I assume when people show up at 8:30 in the morning on our Zooms, it's not because they're trying to build a hobby, it's because they're trying to build a business. So I feel like I can say those things. So if you don't have this book yet, please go get it. Please download the audio. I personally have listened to the audio version or read the physical copy of this book. I said this last week, no less than 20 times, probably closer to 50. And I threw it on in the car this morning. I made all my notes last night, stuff I wanted to talk about, but I threw it on in the car this morning when I was taking Luke to school. And I was like, Jessica, you need to listen to this once a month because we forget really how simple this business can be if we just take the right steps and follow the right plan. And he lays that plan out and brings up some really good, valid points throughout the book. And I'm like, duh, I've been doing that bad habit for the last 6 weeks. Why did I do that? In this last year, I have definitely not followed that plan. Why have I been doing that? And it checks you. That's what I think, I guess. Why am I seeing 2 sunshine green pictures? Like one's on Sydney, one's on Sunshine. Oh, it's because we're using Sunshine's account. I was like, wait, I'm not used to seeing that. So I really, 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 if I could urge you to do any one thing, it is to read this book or listen to the audio. Not once, not twice. If you read it in the past and you're like, yeah, this is great, we're going over this, I've read this in the past, pick it back up again, start from the beginning, or download the audio and listen to it in your car or while you're working out, or your 10 minutes a day that you put on for personal development. But just make sure that you're rereading this book often. So when I was going through these next few chapters, he has like 7 skills, right? Because it's 7 steps becoming a professional network marketer. So these chapters are skill 1, 2, and 3, and it's all about your prospects. It's about finding them. Where do we find them? How do we find them? Then inviting. How are you inviting them? Where are you inviting them? What tools are you using to invite them? And then presenting to them so that you can close the deal, right? So 3 pretty important skills to learn. And unfortunately, people come into network marketing 80%. As I was listening to the book again this morning, 80%, 8 out of 10 people that you will recruit will treat this like a poser. We went over posers, amateurs, and professionals last week. 80% of the people you bring in will treat this like a poser. And what does a poser do in skill 1 when they're trying to find prospects? They will make a mental list of 3 or 4 or 5 people that will join them. And when they don't join them, they quit. So Sunshine and I just went over with 2 brand new promoters that joined our business in the last few days. We hopped on a Zoom with them yesterday and talked about finding their prospects and making their list, right? And if you don't sit down and do that with your newest recruits, they will come in like a poser because they don't know any better. Being a poser doesn't mean, like, I don't know, when I was a teenager, we'd call like people posers when they were trying to be like skaters or something. They were like posing to be something they weren't. That's not what we necessarily mean in this poser mentality in network marketing. They just don't know any better is really what it boils down to. So they're going to make a mental list of like 3 to 5 people. And when they don't get how many times does this happen to you? It happens to me so much that I am committed to teaching people when they come in the correct skill set to making that list and adding to it because I don't want them to get stuck in that poser place and never make it to the next level. So they make that list of 3 to 5 people. Those 3 to 5 people, Aunt Sally, cousin Jenny, best friend Susie, don't join them. They think what they're getting into is something really dumb. They don't like health and wellness products. They don't like new bags. They don't like makeup, whatever it is that you sell. They don't like any of that. So they're not going to join them. And your prospect who now thought that this was going to be their ticket to freedom financially and otherwise, they quit because they didn't know better. They didn't know they had to go beyond 3, 4, and 5 people. And they got so excited about the new product or opportunity that they have on their plate. They just assumed everybody would join them. They just assumed that everybody would. So they also expect to just find that lucky one who's looking for that diamond in the rough, that one distributor or promoter that's just going to rock your whole business and make your whole paycheck. That is not what network marketing is about. Sure, could you find that person? Absolutely. In your sifting and sorting, you may come across that rock star distributor that just rocks out your whole business, and that's fine. You're still not going to make the type of income that you're looking to make off of that one rock star promoter. You're still going to have to learn these skills. The second group is amateurs. And so maybe they come in and they write down that list of 100 prospects because they're kind of know what they're doing. They're kind of listening to you. And so they're going to write that list. I would say the Zoom that Sunshine and I had yesterday with our 2 newest promoters, that's where they're at. They now know, they have been educated. So they're not going to sit in category 1 as a poser. They are in category 2 as an amateur right now. They are making their list of 100 prospects. Let's hope that they get there. Even 50 would be great in their first few weeks. We gave them the ultimate memory jogger. If you guys don't have the ultimate memory jogger, let us know. We can post it in the High Vibe Tribe. I know the people that are on our team, we have it in our guides in the team page. But it's a great place to have people start. It's a great place to go back to. This is an Eric Worre tool. It's a great place to go back to when you're like, man, I feel like I've recruited everybody that I know and I'm kind of re-engaging in my business, but I need to recreate that list. Get out that ultimate memory jogger and use it. It doesn't only just help you think of the people like cousin Eric. When you're, like Eric says in this book, when you dump out all of those names, it gives you space in your brain to think about other people, because now you already have those people on your list, and now you've emptied that occupied space to start thinking about other people. Number 2, what it does is when cousin Billy gets down on your list, your brain starts going, man, last time we were together, cousin Billy brought that friend Scott. And I swear to God, Scott said that he had been doing some network marketing back in the day. Or I swear that cousin Billy's friend Susie that came to that last party said she was tired all the time and couldn't, those are the things that happen when you go through that ultimate memory jogger. It's not just even about that person. It's about who those people know, to widen your network a little bit. So that's what we want an amateur to do, is start putting those lists of 100 people down. But what we want everybody to do is move into the space as a professional, right? So once you get that initial list of 100 down, it's now time to grow and expand that list. You want to make the list as comprehensive as possible. So grab that ultimate memory jogger, help your new person with that ultimate memory jogger. We're like throwing people into the business and not even giving them the appropriate tools to go out there and do the skills that we know that they need. Right? We know they need to make that list, but we're just telling them to kind of go out there and message their friends and their family and see who wants to try our product or service. And we're not sitting down with them, helping them build out that list, which is one of the most important things in their first few weeks in the business, is to build that list. When you do make that list, who are people that those people know? Like I just gave the example of cousin Billy, and maybe his sister friend or whoever came to the last party was tired all the time. Who do the people know that they know? And when you contact cousin Billy and he says, you know what, it's just not for me, I am super busy right now. Now there's 100 ways to handle that objection, but that is not what this Zoom is about. So I won't go there. But when cousin Billy gives you all kinds of objections and you've hit that wall with him, cousin Billy knows a lot of people. Ask him. The worst thing he's going to do is be like, no, I don't know anybody, right? But you could ask cousin Billy, do you know anybody that's this or this or this or this or this problems that your product solves, right? And see if you could get a couple names out of Cousin Billy. Maybe Cousin Billy's best friend just got laid off and needs a different career path. You don't know unless you ask, right? Because you don't know Cousin Billy's friend. So step 3, keep building the list and never stop growing it. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people like me make in the business. You get to a certain point and you stop growing the physical list. That active recruiting list, that active how many people can I help list should be growing constantly. And we just put a new tool together for our team in Trello that we're still working on building out so that we can continue to build that list for 5 more years. And that list will always be there. And it's something we can always come back to. And it has all the details about everything that we know about that prospect. That's the professionalism that you need to bring into your business. Haphazardly writing sticky notes with people's names on them, or going to the store or the grocery store and meeting people. Haas, I'm calling you out, meeting the cashier and telling her about Thrive, and then never putting her in a database somewhere so that you can remember to circle back to her, is losing people. We call it the leaky bucket syndrome in network marketing. Really good at filling the top of the bucket, really bad about letting them just fall out of the back end of it, right? It's got a hole in my bucket and you're letting them leak out because, yes, we've got a system now. We didn't have this system before. We were putting them in like an Excel spreadsheet or in a notebook or somewhere. But what we were figuring out was there are going to be hundreds of people on this team, just like Haas. I'm great at getting trials out and following up with people maybe once or twice, but then a year down the road, I forget everybody that I trialed. So I do the same thing. So we needed a system to put a system in place so that we don't lose those prospects anymore. What's great about Trello, just a side note on Trello, it's amazing. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on your computer. You can store so much information in one card about one prospect, all the trials you've sent them, everything. It's amazing. I saw somebody maybe put in there the notes app on your phone. Great. I've used it. I lose those notes too. I can't go and search in there as easily. I can't make all of the different notes that you can in Trello. If that's what works for you, keep using it for sure. It doesn't let you move people through a funnel like Trello will. So I'm highly recommending that just because I know that the tool is extremely useful, and that when you go back 4 years from now, you won't have to dig through your notes in your phone. You can go to one place and all of it will be there, and you can easily search a person's name. You can go and see what kind of plus line products or extra products you sent them from your company, or how many times you presented something or invited them somewhere. All of it can be stored in there. I'm getting off on a tangent about building your list and keeping it close to you. Number 4, network on purpose. I have Haas's name on here because this is a guy who networks on purpose. He goes places and does things. We call him the belly to belly genius because he will go certain places just to prospect and recruit. Put yourself in situations like that so that you're networking on purpose. Try new things so that you're networking on purpose. Join a new club so that you're networking on purpose. Go to a new restaurant so you can network with the staff on purpose. Join a new gym so you can network with the customers on purpose. Right? Yes, Haas is amazing at that. We have him all over our belly to belly training in our team because he is really, really good at that. That's one skill he definitely has down pat. We're all good at different things, right? I'm not that person. I'm terrible at that. Like, I won't go put myself in uncomfortable positions and situations to talk to people. I make all kinds of excuses in the world why I don't want to do that piece because I'm not good at it, but it's a skill I need to get better at. And as long as I know that and I can, keep building on it, I will. So that's skill number 1. All right. So skill number 2 we move into is inviting. Okay, we've got the list. Now what? How do we talk to them? How do we invite them? What are we inviting them to? And everybody's companies are different and products and services are different. So you'll have different tools. And technology is constantly changing, so you'll have different tools, right? I want to read you an excerpt out of this chapter from Eric, because I think it's so important just to point this out, but in a second. So he calls skill number 2 inviting, the gateway skill in network marketing, because it is the gateway. It's the okay, I have the list and that's great, but if I haven't learned the skill on how to invite people to take a look at my product or opportunity, then you're going to fail all of those contacts. And just one little tiny piece of advice I'll give you: if you've been in network marketing for a while and you feel like you went through that list of 100 warm prospects or list of 50 when you first got started, most of them said no, 10 of them said yes, some joined you, some didn't, some became customers, and it was a while ago, you can go back to that list and recreate it again. And here's what I want you to do: reach out to each of those people and say, Susie. Well, I mean, don't call all of them Susie because they're not all Susie, but Susie. I have been now in my business for 5.5 years. I reached out to you 5.5 years ago when I was literally newbie in this business. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I was vomiting all over people. And I probably offended most people I reached out to, or made you think I was crazy. I'm still on my product, still using my service, whatever it is. This many years later, your name kind of came across my desk again. And I wanted to just reach out to you and tell you, I had no idea what I was doing back then, but I sure as heck do now. And I would like to X, Y, and Z, whatever it is, try over again with them now that you're not vomiting on people anymore. Vomiting on people is so easy to do when we first get into this business because we're so excited about the product or the opportunity or whatever you are putting in front of them, that it's really easy to just vomit all over people because you think they're going to be just as excited as you are. And passion is super important. We'll get into that, but we have to be careful about how we approach. So I just wanted to give you a tip of all those people are not lost and forgotten and dead prospects. You can go back to that list and recreate that and blame it on yourself. It's a total reason to reach out. Just go blame it on yourself. I was a newbie and I just really didn't know what I was doing, and give me another shot because I think this product might be able to change your life. And I'd really like you to try it. Okay. Then, I wanted to give you another tip. The book by Phil M. Jones, we'll probably cover it down the road. Super quick, easy read, exactly what to say. He gives you all kinds of like one-line openers, objection handling phrases. They are so good. I would literally like take them and ingrain them in your brain so that you have them, practice them. One of them is if I would you, and he talks about that in this chapter. If I would you. Okay. So, don't sell your product, solve problems, build relationships, invite to attend, listen, or sample. One great thing about a lot of network marketing companies now is you have samples. You can give samples out of your product, and that can be your tool. What an amazing tool. The goal is education and understanding, not hunting. If you hunt everyone around you will feel hunted and they will run the other direction. And that is what gives network marketing a bad name. Okay. So don't hunt your prospects, try to solve their problems and see what we can do. Okay. The little excerpt I wanted to read out of this book is because it's kind of about tools. Like you're gonna give them a tool or invite them somewhere to listen to something. Let another side note, if you use ATM, if your team uses ATM, if your product company service uses ATM, the ATM method, add tag message, that is one of the biggest tools you can use outside of sampling somebody. If you don't know what ATM is, we need to grab, Sydney, do you have that in YouTube where you could grab the link and dump it into the comments here and people could watch it? I know it's going to be our company specific probably, but I just think it's a really helpful training that if you don't mind watching about that, you can watch how to do the ATM method. It is by far one of the best tools that I believe we have. We did not come up with this process. It was by other network marketers, but I think that it is definitely one of the biggest tools that we have. So technology changes things, because when Eric Worre was building his network marketing business in the beginning to where we're at now, We are so lucky we don't even understand it. But if we took our businesses as seriously with using the simple ATM method as he did when he started his business, I want you to listen to this. The second career breakthrough took the form of an audio cassette. Yes, I said cassette. This was 1992, and that's all we had. The company was launching something new and exciting, and this time I personally recorded an audio that explained the opportunity in detail. We sold it for 50 cents a piece, which covered our cost, and in less than 1 year, that little audio cassette sold over 1 million copies. We taught people how to invite prospects to take that cassette, put it in their car, and listen to it right away. The results were amazing. We trained people to get 100 cassettes at first, get them out to everyone they knew, and then they had them focus on getting out two a day after that. Focus on getting out 2 a day after that. Using that simple system, my income grew to almost $1 million a year. This was back in 1992, you guys. Using a freaking audio cassette. Are you treating your business like a business, or are you posting and praying? I'm going to ask you that right now. This is 7 steps becoming a professional network marketer. Now, I know we're not going to use audio cassettes, but you sure do have audio clips, and they free. You don't have to buy a cassette. You don't have to go and record it and try to get those out in the mail to people. It's so much faster and easier, and we do less of it than he did. Are you getting 100 of those voice clips out to your team members, each of your team members, and telling them to go send that voice clip out to 100 people in their network? No, we are not treating it that serious. And that is why we are not at 7 figures in earning yet. I'm talking to myself right now. Okay. Just so you know, I'm yelling at myself. Okay. So I think that if we took these skills and we really implemented them, yeah, link, small videos, all of it. Right, Amy, there's so many tools that we have, especially with technology now, to make it easier, but there is a system to doing this. Okay. So that's why I want you to read this book, because even if it's not a cassette audio, even if it's a voice clip, there's a very specific way you want to do it so that it works. Okay, so you don't want to just spam people with voice clips. That is not, do you think that they took those audio cassettes and just mailed them to people? No. So don't just go jump in someone's inbox and send them a voice clip either. There's a process to it. You set an appointment for it. And that we're going to talk about that in his skill number 3, presenting. Okay. A few rules. Rule number 1, emotionally detach from the outcome. Disappointment will destroy you. If this is the one biggest piece of advice out of this entire day's worth of training, emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. Think about when your downline or somebody on your team asks you for third-party validation, and you're like, sure. And you jump on the call and you'll ask them all kinds of crazy questions and tell them all kinds of crazy things and ask for the sale, no problem. Because it doesn't affect you. You are already emotionally detached because that person is not in your network. You don't really care what their answer is. I don't think you don't care, but you know what I'm saying? You don't really care what the outcome of that situation is. Of course, that you want them to join you or try the product or be part of this with you, but you are already emotionally detached. You don't even have to tell yourself to emotionally detach. That's why third-party validation works so well. It's why third-party calls, 3-way calls work so well, because I'm already emotionally detached from your person. It's much easier for me to ask the questions, the hard ones. Because if they say no, I'm done with the call, we hang up and I go about my day and I never think about it again. You have to learn how to do that with your own contacts to a certain extent. I'm not saying don't use third-party validation, because I am saying use third-party validation as much as humanly possible. ATM is a new form or way of using third-party validation. Should not replace getting on the phone or a 3-way message, but it's definitely a piece of the puzzle that makes things easier for you. But emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. I know when I sit down with a new promoter, someone who really wants to join the business, they see the end result, which is great. They have vision. They can see that time freedom. They can see that beach house on their vision board. They can see the RV traveling the country. They can see the income that sets them and their family free. And then reality sets in. Ooh, I actually have to contact people. This is a contact sport. You have to contact people. If you're so emotionally invested in what other people think and you can't detach yourself from the outcome, start there. That's an inside job. You got to figure that one out. You have to emotionally detach, or you won't ask the hard questions. You won't invite. You will make that list, and then that list will sit there and collect dust, and you won't invite because you can't get over your damn self. That's the next book I think we're covering, or in a couple of months we are. Like, you have to get over that piece, that hump, that hurdle. That is an inside job. Rule number 2, be yourself. So many times people try to be other people. People try to think that they need to know everything about the product or service when they first start. No, you don't. That's not you. You just started. You barely even have an experience with it yet. Use somebody else, but be you. Tell them. When I introduce people to a new scenario or situation that I really want them to take part in, but I'm new at it, I cannot act like the expert until I am the expert. So I'll just be like, I really have no idea what I'm doing. I just got started in this. There's people I know that have been doing this for much longer. Yes, leverage your leaders, Amy. People don't do it enough. And I think because, at least in our business, and this could be different in other companies, we've gotten away from the three-way call, because people don't necessarily like getting on the phone anymore. Three-way messages are great because people will listen to those. But we don't, because we've gotten away from that three-way call or third-party validation in that sense, people haven't been leaning on their leadership as much because they think they have all the tools technology-wise to do it. And then you don't get that piece of it, and people stop leaning on their leaders who know more. So then they try to be the person, and you're not going to come across as genuine because you're trying to sell a product or a service to somebody that doesn't even, like, you haven't even used it long enough or know enough about it. So it's not going to come across genuine. Rule number 3, passion and enthusiasm sells. I got 3 minutes left. I better hurry up. Passion and enthusiasm sells. So if, I can remember times in my business where we've brought people on and I've been told after the fact that they didn't really even know what the product did so much. They were kind of interested in trying it. The business sounded like a good idea, but they were a little skeptical network marketing. But because of how passionate I was about our product and our compensation plan, they were like, I gotta at least try this. She seems like this thing's going to the top. I gotta at least jump in and try it. Right? Your passion will exude. And that's why third-party validation calls and voice clips are so important, because ad tagging and messaging somebody in some things in a team page or things like that can't accomplish that piece. And that piece is important. Rule number 4, have confidence. Be very confident. No one wants to join somebody in your business or take a product that you don't even sound confident about. So if you can't sound confident, grab a leader to help you sound confident. And that's okay to say, I don't know, but man, you've got to listen to my friend Jessica's story. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you get the product like that, but my friend Jessica's been doing this for a while, and you've got to talk to her. That sounds confident. It sounds confident that you know what you're doing. You know enough not to tell them yourself because you're not there yet. So confidence can work in a bunch of different ways. 8 steps: be in a hurry, compliment them, make the invite. If I use the statements, if I would you. I can't go over all of that this morning. It is so powerful. If I would you is so powerful in inviting. Get confirmation 1, which is a commitment to listen, watch, attend, try sample. Get confirmation number 2, which is getting a time. Getting a time or setting an appointment. If you're doing a voice clip, if I would send you this voice clip about X, Y, and Z, would you listen to it? Yes? Great. Confirmation number 1. Confirmation number 2, when do you think you'll have time to do that? Oh, 8 p.m. tomorrow? I'm doing this really fast, you guys. Great. I'm going to send you this voice clip. You're going to listen to it 8 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to follow up with you. You got confirmation number 2. Confirmation number 3, I'm going to follow up with you. Is Wednesday at noon a good time for me to follow up with you? Yes? Great. What number should I call you at? Those are all the confirmations that you need in the step-by-step plan. It's all in the book. Get it, learn it, use it. It works. Don't spam people with voice clips. Use this process. Okay. And then get out of the message in the call or the call. Get out of the message, get off the call, stop. We tend to vomit. Tell yourself to stop after you get the 3rd confirmation and get back with them on Wednesday like you said you would. Put it in your calendar. Don't forget to get back with them. All right, chapter number 3. I'm going to go over this in like 1 minute because we're at 9 o'clock. Presenting. It doesn't matter what works. It matters what duplicates. Remember that always in your business. It doesn't matter what works for you. It matters what duplicates. You are trying to bring on a team. Your ability to get a large group of people to consistently do a few things over an extended period of time is what's going to build you that $1 million organization. You have to be able to duplicate that to other people or make a system or a process that will be easily duplicatable throughout your team. So think about that when presenting, okay? You want to have the tools. You want to make it easy. You want your team to be able to make a list. You want to make it available, or you want to get them the skill set to invite. And you want to make all of these tools easy for them to access and utilize. They are not going to be good at presenting at first. So if you don't have the presenting skills, make sure you lean on somebody who does. Get the tools that you can use for presenting. You want to, though, while you're getting good at this, while you're learning your product or service, or if you've been in your business for a while and don't have this down yet, you need your story. You need your story in 3 minutes or less. You need to be able to tell why your product or service changed your life for the better. Remember always, you are not the message. You are the messenger. You are not the message. You are the messenger. You are carrying a message about a product or service. It may have changed your life, but you personally are not the message. You are not trying to sell you. You are carrying the message to them. So get out of the way and use third-party validation because it works. Learn a compelling story about your product or service and tell it over and over and over. Those who repeat themselves the most win. And it's so true in this business. And sometimes we can get a little tired and burnt out of telling that same story, but that same story is compelling to the new person each and every single time. It may not sound as compelling to you anymore because you've told it 100,000 times, but it is to that new person. They haven't heard it before. So keep telling that same compelling story over and over and over. Preparation is key. People don't prepare enough. People don't get their story down enough. I'll tell you, when I very first started in this business 5.5 years ago, I heard one person do a 20-minute opportunity call. We were doing calls then. Had a bunch of people dial into it, listen to her do that call, and I recorded it. And as soon as we got off of it, I went, I need to learn how to do that. I need to learn how to do that. If I want the big paycheck, the person in the front of the room with the markers who makes the most money, you guys. Okay. So if I want to make the most money, if I want to have the big team, the big organization, I do need to learn the skills. I can't always count on somebody else because I need my team to be able to count on me and be able to use me as their validation source. So I learned really quickly I need to prepare. So I took that recording and I listened to it over and over and over and over. I even wrote down every single word that she said in that entire recording in a notebook, and then I memorized it. And then I practiced it and I recorded myself saying it and spitting it out until I could do it blindfolded and driving a car at the same time. Just kidding. I didn't do that, but I did record myself while I was driving in a car a couple times. So I learned that so I could spit it back out. Now, of course, I didn't use all of her words. It ended up getting, spun into how I would say things after I practiced it so many times. Doing that one simple thing in the very beginning of my business, I will tell you, was key to me driving to the top rank of the company in 8 months, because I knew how to tell the story and I learned how to do it compellingly. Is that a word, compellingly? Probably not. Sunshine can help me. So preparation is key, you guys. If you want the big paychecks, if you want the big team, if you want to be that leader, if you want to help thousands of people, you've got to prepare this and treat it like a business. And it will pay you like a business. Unfortunately, 80% of people come in as posers and quit because they didn't prepare and they didn't grab the book, read the book a bunch of times, listen to the book a bunch of times, and utilize this as a tool to build your business. I just ordered 20, I'm not selling this book, you guys. I just ordered 25 copies of it though, because every new person that I recruit personally is getting this book. Because I just realized in the last, going over this again, I used to do that and I got away from it for some reason. And I want, if spending, I think the book is like $10, right? If you order I think I ordered 25 of them and it was $150. So whatever that breaks down to. If I spend $5 to $10 on every single new recruit that I personally bring in, I'm talking about my personally enrolled, and I have them read that book, do you think that that's going to expand my business? I honest to God, I can't tell you, this is the book that changed my life like 7 years ago. I ended up speaking on a stage twice because I wholeheartedly believe in this book so much. I know that it contains every skill that we need to build a successful business. I didn't do that well in my first company. Then I read this book, and then I had another opportunity come that I decided was better fit for me. And I exploded the business, but I used every skill from that book. I promise you, from cover to cover, it is worth every ounce of your time to read it. I'm saying that over and over and over because I truly want all of you guys to explode your business and be successful. But you have to spend at least 10 minutes a day trying to build your personal development and the skill set that it will take to build your business. It's all in there. Super easy, super, super easy. He makes it really, really easy for you. So I'm over my time. I'm going to stop talking. I get really excited about this stuff because I love network marketing. I do believe it's going to change a lot of people's future. And you have the ability to go out there and impact hundreds of thousands of people if you learn a skill set and duplicate it. So hope you guys have a fabulous week. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Sunshine. I'm sure she'll break down some mindset stuff on each one of these skills, and we'll learn a little bit more.